Hello, and welcome to the LIS Recap. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Let's begin. Jang, the gangster, goes to a ramen stall for lunch on a sunny day. He doesn't finish his meal and immediately requests the bill. He is also forced to pay for the food consumed by a student at the table next to him. Following that, he drives somewhere. When he tries to cross a street, there are garbage collectors collecting trash from the neighborhood. As a result, he is unable to pass through. This is where everything takes place. Jang decides to get out of the car while waiting for the garbage men to call his assistant. Chul, Kim, the high school student, is standing on the edge of the rooftop at the same time. Then the unthinkable occurs. He falls from the rooftop and collides with Jang. They both passed out and were taken to the hospital. Jang awakens from his coma a split second later. He gets out of bed and walks down the corridor. But he notices something is wrong when everyone in the hospital refers to him as Kid or Kim. He is perplexed until he notices a man laying on a bed next to his room. He recognizes the man as himself. When he looks in the mirror, he realizes he is trapped inside a child's body. He keeps attempting to persuade everyone that he is not Kim. However, nobody believes him because the doctor claims he has retrograde amnesia. He then attempts to bump this kid's body into his own in order to swap their bodies back. But he fails. When Chul walks into the room and sees this kid doing something inappropriate, he becomes enraged. He is then told to stay away or Chul will beat him. Jang is forced to live as a high school student because he knows he can't get his body back. He lives his life as the new Kim. When he returns to school, he encounters something he has never encountered before. He notices his friend Hyun being bullied by a group of friends. He's even been invited to an after-school brawl. But this is not the Kim that everyone is familiar with. This is Kim, and she has the heart of a gangster. He will not hesitate to beat up everyone. Jang begins to wonder why everyone treats him like a loser. So, after school, he intends to meet some bullies on a hill. He travels with his friend Yi. He asks one of the bullies if there is anything he has done that they dislike. No, it does not. The reason for this is that Jang appears to be a loser. Jang and his friend leave the bullies after obtaining the information they seek. Jang then decides to meet with Chul in order to persuade him that he is his boss. He enters the office where Chul works. Chul was skeptical at first, but he knows how to gain the trust of his assistant. He says everything about Chul that no one knows, and it works. Jang then questions Chul about why he was watching over his boss in the hospital. Then, Chul utters a startling revelation. He claims that the CEO, Jang's competitor, is attempting to assassinate him. Jang is on the phone with Chul the next day after school. Simultaneously, Hyun runs into him and drops a doll. He decides to give it back to her. When they finally meet, an unexpected event occurs. He notices that Hyun's mother is the mother of his ex-girlfriend, Seon, whom he dumped for another woman. Jang then asks Chul for assistance in determining whether Hyun is his daughter. They collect Hyun and Jang's hair in order to test their DNA. According to the results, Hyun is 99% her father's daughter. He begins to feel guilty for not being a good guy for Seon and their daughter. So he talks to Chul about how he can approach Hyun and Seon. He is told that he must alter his appearance, so he intends to trim himself down and groom himself. He first invites Hyun to work out with a trainer, who turns out to be Chul. For months, they had been practicing martial arts and jumping rope. Finally, he could see the outcome. His body slims down and he looks younger. Finally, he begins to groom himself. He changes his hairstyle and uses a soft lens to avoid wearing his nerd glasses. Jang's new look appears to be appealing. Many girls began to like him. At the same time, Hyun begins to gain respect from the bullies. Seon is grateful to Jang for always protecting her daughter. She invites Jang to her stall to eat ramen as a thank you. During their conversation, a drunk man slaps Seon's private area. Jang becomes enraged and confronts the drunk. Seon begins to suspect him at that point. She notices parallels between Jang's and Kim's words and actions. That means Jang will have to explain himself. He tells Seon about how he switched bodies, but he doesn't believe him, so he repeats what he did to Chul. He tells us everything he did with Seon back when they were dating. Finally, Seon believes she is conversing with the man who abandoned her. Seon becomes enraged. He hasn't looked for her in a long time because she is so angry. She kicks Jang out of her stall and tells him to keep his distance from her daughter. The next day, Hyun meets Jang right after school. She inquires as to what he was discussing with her mother. Her curiosity arose because her mother had told her not to meet him again. One of the student council members approaches them while they are talking. He invites Hyun to his birthday celebration at his villa. The invitation was accepted by Hyun. She is overjoyed that an outcast like herself can attend the party. Jang is meeting Seon at the same time. Jang intends to apologize for everything he has done there, but Seon believes he is powerless to change anything. Seon has raised Hyun on her own, and he has no right to look after her daughter. She also believes that if this body exchange had not occurred, he would not have sought her out. As a result, she decides to leave Jang. However, as Seon approaches the exit door, Jang pursues her and kisses her on the lips. When this enraged Seon, she slaps him and threatens to drag him to the police station. Jang receives a phone call from Yi while she is dragging him outside. He claims that Hyun is in a difficult situation. He overheard this while delivering meals to the girls who weren't invited to the party. Jang immediately departs Seon and requests that Chul send him a car. He then drives to the location of the party. He notices Hyun is surrounded by the boys there. He senses Hyun's need for assistance. The boys, however, will not let Hyun leave because the party has only just begun. Jang and the other boys begin to fight. Fortunately, Jang and Hyun have both previously studied martial arts, so they can beat up all of the boys and flee the villa. Chul informs Jang that his competitor's wife is having an affair with the CEO, so he writes a letter to his wife's father, the chairman. He informs the chairman that he is the victim and that his wife is involved in a plot with another man. Kim abruptly awakens from his coma. Kim is now inhabiting the gangster's body. Then he returns home and meets his father, Jeong. However, Jeong does not believe he is his son. Fortunately, Jang returns home as well. Jang and Kim met for the first time after the collision there. They tell Jeong what has really happened to them. They then agreed to assist one another. They intend to meet at Seon's stall. They tell Seon that they have switched their bodies back after they arrive. However, the CEO and his assistants enter the stall. They search for Jang and attempt to murder him. Jang instructs Kim and Seon to take refuge in the kitchen. He is eager to resolve this issue. He is at odds with the CEO and his assistants. They were thrown out thanks to Seon's assistance. Seon has forgiven Jang and is willing to accept him in order to return to her life. Jang is invited to his office by the chairman. He'd like to clarify something in the letter he sent. Given that Jang is the victim, he would prefer to have Jang as his successor. But Jang, who is actually Kim at the time, refuses because he is at a loss for words. Jang's decision is appreciated by Kim when they meet. He is relieved that he is no longer forced to lead a regretful criminal life. Unfortunately, his wife intends to strike them. However, because Jang is aware of the situation, he saves Kim and is struck by the car. He was severely injured and was rushed to the hospital. When Jang is about to die, both Jang and Kim abruptly switch bodies. We learn at the end of the film that Kim is still alive and that Jang is back with Seon. Jang even purchased a building to construct a bakery. They all work with Jeong and Chul there. Movie ends here. Thanks for watching.